Hello everybody. I hope this video finds you well, and in this video today we're going to be starting this topic called developments. Now, in today's world, an awful lot of objects are made out of a flat sheet of cardboard, such as this object here in front of us. And when this is being made, it is cut out to a certain shape, and then at certain points on a flat sheet of cardboard, it is folded in to 6 sides to make this box here. Now, another point to note for you is that when faces or surfaces of an object are unrolled or unfolded onto a flat plane, the result is known as a development. Okay? So in the real world today, they get these objects, they create objects from flat sheets of cardboard and they're made into an object like this. But when we unfold them then, that is called a development. So just have a look at this simple object here. And I just have it already pre-cut and taped together. I just take the tape off it there. You will see that that 6-sided object is made up of the base, 2 long sides and 2 short sides, okay? And in a factory somewhere, they put all of them, to cut them out, mark them for folding at certain points, and then put them into position like so, and made that object. Okay, so in these type of questions, you're going to be asked to draw an elevation of an object and a plan of it, and then do the development, which is the unfolding of it. Okay, now an interesting point to note about these questions is that you actually can have several right answers to a question like this. You can have a wrong answer, of course, but you can have several possible right solutions. Okay, so I just began there just to save us a bit of time setting up. If you would like to think about this object, we'll just break it down into squares for a moment. Let's say that was 6 squares by 2 squares, the front elevation, and the plan was 2 squares by 1 squares. And I'm just doing that to help us sketch this out on a grid. So I would encourage you to do a few sketches of this before you actually do the object. So if we take this here, we could have the back, the bottom, you could have the lid on the top, and you could actually have the top of the object as well. And we could have 2 long sides. You could put them on anywhere. You could possibly put them on there. Okay. Another solution to this, which some people often like to do, is they often like to draw the back first perhaps, or the base, which is the bottom there. And they like to unfold it from this point. So you could have the lid there, and the top up here. And then you could put on the one long side there, one long side there. Another possible solution to these is actually the opposite of them as well, of course. Okay, so another possible solution there would be something like this, where we could have the back, 2 long sides on again, and we could have the top and the bottom, and then you could put on the lid on here as well. Now to all these you could do the opposite of these, so you could redraw that and put the lid the other side, or you could redraw this and put these wings up here. You could redraw this one and put the 2 long sides down here and here. It doesn't matter, there's several possible right answers to this. Okay, now if you don't have that piece of grid paper, as I said, don't worry, you can just do a quick sketch out to one side. So I might just throw a bit of colour on these, because I know we're a slight bit zoomed out here, but I have to keep the camera at home here in the one position while I'm filming. So that could be our base, let's say our lids, and you don't have to colour these, I'm just doing it to perhaps make it easier for you to see at home. Now when you're doing objects like this, of course, like the top and bottom are the same, the two long sides are the same shape, and the base and the lid would be the same shape as well, in order for them, to make a regular prism. So those there are a few possible solutions to this. Now, with the way I've laid out the page spacing today, I came down 20 and I came roughly in 20, always starting on an even number. Remember, make life easier for yourself. I'm probably going to go with this development here today, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two light construction lines across my page. And wherever you want, you can begin the development. So as I said, I will have all the measurements for this for you up on OneNote. So I'm going to start here, picking a point there. And I'm going to draw the back of this lid here. Now keep all your lines lightly if you want to first, until you're sure of where you're putting in your heavy lines. I'm going to do two light lines down there. Now I'll show you why in a few minutes. I'm not marking in all the lines heavy first of all. 25. This object was 85 in height. Then 25 again. And I'm going to take the heavy line across the bottom there. Now I'm going to put in dashed lines here. Now the only place we've seen dashed lines to date was in orthographic, where we're showing some hidden detail. But we do use them as well in developments, and this indicates to us where the folding is happening on an object. Okay, I'll put in one there. And I'm actually going to move now, and I'm actually going to do a slight variation from this. I'm actually going to put the two wings out here, okay, in this one. So that would be actually another possible solution. So if I was to sketch that, I could have again the base, the bottom, the lid, the top, and I could put the two wings on out here to the side. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is because I put in two heavy lines there, so it's just going to save me rubbing out. Okay, so it doesn't matter, as I said, you can have more than one right answer to these. And here now I'm going to put on the wings onto this. So they're going to be the 25 mil. And that is my development finished there. Okay, so if I want to quickly, you could label it in if you want to, okay, but I don't think there's any need really. Okay, so I've got the back up here, I've got the bottom, I've got the lid, I've got the two long sides, okay, and then I have the top there. So I know if that folds together, you could imagine the two long sides folding up like this. These two short guys would fold up like so, and then the lid would just flop over to close off that rectangular box. Okay. Now, the last thing we're going to do, and I'll just sketch in this just to make it stand out again, but the last thing we're going to do after that is a 3D sketch of the box itself. So it's very important that we keep working on our sketching skills, because as part of your CBAs that'll be coming up next year, it is one of your key skills that you'll need to show off. As I said again, you don't have to use colour, but you can if you want, and I don't want you using colour on the development itself. So we've heavy black line for where the object will be cut from a big sheet, and then we have these marked dashed lines where the folding would occur. So these would be called folding lines, and we'll just put an arrow off that there. We'll actually write that in. And come down. Now, as I said, the last thing we're going to do then is we're going to make a sketch of that object, an isometric sketch, okay? So you can make that isometric sketch anywhere you want. You can make it whatever size you want, okay? So I'm going to keep it smaller than the actual object itself. So remember, we always start off with this kind of chicken's foot, as I say, and all lines after that will have to be parallel to lines 1, 2, or 3. You don't have to label them now, I'm just doing that for demonstration purposes here. So always do your lines lightly, okay? Use the slide and pencil technique if you need so. And it doesn't matter, you know, how many light lines you have. When you're happy with the lines, a particular line, then you can start to go over that line heavier, okay? Now you don't have to put any writing or anything like that. It's just the 3D shape of the object that is what I'm interested in. Okay, and we'll probably give the bottom line where it would sit on the ground a bit more of a heavier line to make an emphasis of that's where it's resting. Okay, so that's a 3D sketch. So we got our elevation plan of the 3D object. That's what it looks like when it's unfolded or developed out into a flat sheet. We have possible solutions down here, which is always the first thing I would actually go and draw. Okay, I just had that set up today in the question to save time. And okay, and then the last thing we're doing there is we're doing a 3D sketch of the object itself. So that's our first one, folks. As I said, the measurements for all this are going to be on the OneNote. Please go there. I hope you found this video useful. More to come, so please stay tuned to the channel. Take care, folks.